we're going to talk about the SLT line. Translucent mirrors. Why? And how was this ahead of its time? Let's check it out. This particular model is the A58. I've paired it with the 55 to 210 millimeter Sony lens. It is an APS-C camera, and as you can see, this is what happens when you pair Sony's technology with what they acquired from Minolta. Now, there were a couple things that these cameras had when they first came out. Other cameras like them didn't have. One I mentioned is a translucent mirror. You can see it right there. Translucent mirror. Well, you may or may not be able to see it. The mirror doesn't have to flip up out of the way to take a photo like it does on a regular SLR. Another thing this had, the other cameras at the time didn't. This. An articulating screen. Okay, well that's a pretty big deal. Well, what else? Well, it had better autofocus in video mode. And an electronic viewfinder, which means you could get what you see is what you get out of the viewfinder or the screen. This was new, but it wasn't necessarily new tech, but it was new in a camera body like this. Now, why were they the ones to bring this tech to market? Because they already had it. Now, they weren't the only ones on the video game. The Sony Handycam was pretty ubiquitous. Flippy foldy screen. EVF. Able to see little tiny screen, see your exposure. They already had all this stuff, and they had just bought Minolta. Oh yeah, and did I mention in-body stabilization? Why were these features such a big deal? Well, this series of camera came out in 2010. The first Canon camera, to my knowledge, that had an electronic viewfinder came out in 2018. The first in-body stabilization for Canon? 2020. So yeah, it's a big deal. So what were the downsides to this series? Well, some people complained about the EVF. They said it was a little slow, not super high quality. Fair enough, a little bit of lag compared to just looking through a prism. However, we know that eventually the EVF did win out. Some complained about the translucent mirror because you could lose about half a stop of light, but the sensors were getting better and better in low light, so again, that really wasn't a problem. So what eventually killed this SLT line? Well, to be honest, it was the mirrorless. It was Sony's own success with the mirrorless. So while the video may appear pretty dated on these, the photos are really still quite good, especially if you can get decent glass for them. And you can pick them up fairly inexpensively. Matter of fact, I've actually used this as a second or third camera just to make sure I had all the angles I needed in stressful situations. So if you have the chance to pick one of these up, I recommend it. They're a lot of fun, and you don't have to feel bad about breaking the bank. So do you guys have fun memories of these SLT cameras? Let me know down below. Also, if you have questions about photo video land, would like some one-on-one training, I now offer that. Information's down below somewhere. Until next time.